On August 12th, I issued a statement about the terror in Charlottesville, Virginia, that resulted in the violent death of Heather Heyer. I wanted to take the time now to speak personally about what's happening in the U.S. at the moment. The events in Charlottesville last week were not the beginning of the racial terror in this country, and it likely won't be the end. I grew up in southern Indiana at a time when racially motivated violence, often Klan-related, was a fact of life. My own brother was a victim of that violence. Thankfully, he is still alive. Racism imposes trauma in so many ways. We as disciples have committed to be a pro-reconciling, anti-racist church. And there is much we have done, but there is much we have to do. The public resurgence of white supremacists, neo-Nazis, and white nationalists reminds us that racism is still present, but it has no place in the culture of love that God calls us to create. This is not a partisan matter. It is a human matter. It is not about Democrats or Republicans, conservatives or liberals. It is about human beings. God's commandment to love humanity means that you and I must work to eradicate anything that diminishes the dignity, equality, and existence of any other human being. And until we get the issue of race right, I fear that we will not be able to address the other isms in our society. There is work to do. As our Minister of Reconciliation, April Johnson, reminds us, in the Gospel of John, Christ tells us not to be discouraged because he has overcome the world. We stand with all in the human family that are being bullied and terrorized simply because they are different. We continue to provide a witness to Christ's commandment to affirm the human dignity of all of God's children. When one part of the body suffers, we know that all suffer. And for that reason, we continue to embrace our identity as a movement for wholeness in a fragmented world, welcoming all to the Lord's table as God has welcomed us. Disciples were present in Charlottesville to stand with our neighbors there. And we are grateful for your presence, your solidarity against hate, and for your continued witness of so many disciples around the country on behalf of Christ and Christ's church. Church, we know that evil will not prevail, and it cannot have the last word in any of our communities. The work is difficult and messy, but I hope you will join me as we recommit to being a pro-reconciling, anti-racist church. We are the people of God.